Hey, I'm Becky, and I'm the artist and owner of Cat People Press. I'm here with you today to talk about how to screen print a cat person t-shirt using the photo emulsion process. Let's get started. The method that I use for screen printing with Cat People Press is called photo emulsion. Artists use different ways of screen printing. Some people use drawing fluid, other people might use a stencil, and there are other ways as well. But for me and my purposes, I find that photo emulsion is the best. And that is what we're going to work on today. Let me show you the materials that you will need. All right, so this is my screen printing area, my screen printing table, and I have most of the supplies right here. We're gonna go through them. Number one, you need a screen. So this is a screen I just bought on the internet. It has a lower thread count, which means that the holes that the ink is being pushed through are larger. So if you're doing something like a band poster where you're printing on paper and you have really fine details, you want a mesh count that is higher so that you have smaller openings for the ink to go through and you can get a finer line. Well, with t-shirts, we want a lot of ink going through that screen. So this is a rather kind of low thread count. You are going to need a squeegee, trusty squeegee, and this one is just kind of a mid-range squeegee. You are going to need a transparency. So this is a transparency that I got today. I just ordered it from Office Depot. It was $1.48. So here it is. This is what we're going to be doing. Some people print these off at home. I bought a fancy inkjet Epson EcoTank about a year ago, and it does not print transparencies, which was really annoying when I tried printing my first transparency. So I just get them from Office Depot. It's up to you. You can get them from FedEx, anywhere. You're going to need some tape, packing tape. Some screen printers use waterproof screen printing tape, but I have found that just plain old packing tape works. You will need a light bulb. I just use a regular old 300 watt light bulb that I pick up at the hardware store. I've got a bucket with a squeegee, a sponge, there's a toothbrush, just for keeping things clean. We've also got the chemicals that we will use. This is the photo emulsion. This has already been activated. I keep it in my refrigerator, and this is going to be put on the screen. Of course, your ink. I buy most of my stuff from Blick online. They usually have pretty good deals, and their brand, the Blick brand, I find is a pretty good value. You need a cleaner. So this is a screen filler remover and screen cleaner. So when you're done printing and you want to remove the photo emulsion from your screen, you're going to use this. We'll talk about that at the end. This is another screen filler. I don't use this very much. I think it's kind of like a drawing fluid people use it to draw with on the screen. I just use it to do touch-ups after I do the photo emulsion in case anything's coming through. Of course, you're going to need your t-shirt. I buy mine from Alternative Apparel. I've got a wholesale account through them. You're going to want some newspapers. Also, for the burning process, you will need a piece of glass. I got this at the hardware, super cheap. Some paper towels, you're going to want those as well. and then an assortment of spoons and things to get the ink out. Hinges. These are hinges that I bought. I had to special order these online, and these are what hold the screen in place. So I just screwed these directly into my table, because this is my screen printing table in my studio. You can just print these to, or not print these, excuse me. You can just screw these to the board. So if you don't want them directly on a surface, just get a board from the hardware store and screw those in. That way you can move it around, put it in the closet, whatever. I think that is it for in here. Next up, what we are going to do is put the filler on the screen. All right, so I got some gloves on. You don't have to wear gloves. I like to keep my hands clean. We have our photo emulsion right here, and this has already been activated. And when you buy the photo emulsion, it will come with another another like liquid that you dump in and activate it. This is light sensitive, so you want to keep it, you know, out of the light. Yeah, while we are putting it on, it's okay. You just don't want to like put the photo emulsion on there and then leave it sit out, you know, in your kitchen for an hour, because then it won't work. Oh, and then I'm just using my squeegee. So looks like I'm dripping a little here. Going back and forth. See, usually it doesn't drip that much. See, I've got some there. That's abnormal. And that's just because this photo emulsion that I am using, go back and forth, was in my refrigerator for a while, and it was kind of dry. And so I had to add some water to it. Alright, this is looking pretty good. It's a nice, smooth, even layer. There's no big globs. There is a cat hair right there I'm going to have to get out because I live with a bunch of cats, and it's cat people press after all. So I'm going to get that cat hair out, and then we're going to take this over and put it in the dark room and let it dry. With the photo emulsion process, you need a dark room to burn the screen and to let the photo emulsion dry. So this is what I use. This is just a closet in my studio. Come in here, I've got my fan. I just use this to help it dry more quickly. I have a bar here, and this is where I'm going to clamp the light on. This is just a end table with an old butcher block and a couple of 2x4s, and then a black piece of felt, so that when the light is on and the screen is being burnt, there's nothing that's going to reflect back, because that can kind of mess up your screen. Okay, so this is where we will dry the screen, and this is where we're going to burn the screen as well. So here I've got the screen that we just put the photo emulsion on. It's still wet. I've got a fan set up here as well in my dark closet. I'm going to turn the fan on and then shut the door. You want to make sure that no light gets in, or else it might mess with your screen and do things that you don't like. All right, it's been about 10 minutes with the fan on in the closet. Why don't we take a look and see if the screen is dry? Okay. It doesn't look shiny anymore. Looks like it might be a little wet there. I'll touch it. No, so this is completely dry. It took about 10 minutes with the fan on. You can let it dry without a fan, then it might take a few hours. So I'm gonna grab my light and my transparency and get things going in here. While that screen is burning, one thing I want to mention is that you can buy kits that have all of the things that you need to start screen printing. I know our local art store, they've got a Spiegel kit. That was how I got started screen printing. It has the screen, it's got the photo emulsion, and even, I don't think it has an image, but it's pretty self-explanatory. So this is definitely something that you can do at home. And if you've got questions for me or comments, please leave your comments in the comment section. So the timer has gone off. We are going to open the magical door and see how our screen is doing. Turn off this light. Okay. Take off the that's wonderful. So something that you'll see right away is where the transparency was, it's lighter, and then where the photo or where the light hit the screen, it's much darker. So hopefully this is successful. We're going to take it into the bathroom now and clean it out and see if we have a usable screen. Here we are in the studio bathroom. This is what I use to clean my screens. Bathtub and a shower head. Yeah, this is just like a $12 shower head that I got at the hardware store. So we're going to just put the screen in here. You can see where the screen did not burn. All right, there's the screen. I'm pretty happy with it. All of the stuff came out. Doesn't look like we have too many pinholes. So I'm going to dry this off and then we will prep to print. All right, so here we are in the studio. We've got our dry screen ready to print. We want to put tape around the edges so that the ink doesn't get through anywhere that there isn't a photo emulsion. As I said before, a lot of screen printers will buy special waterproof tape. I just use packing tape. Put that on there. All right, so we've got the packing tape on the screen. I like to get the tape close to the image. That way there's less likelihood of any little pinholes around leaking ink through. I looked at this one One thing you want to do before you print is hold it up to the light and make sure there aren't a bunch of pinholes. This one's not too bad. There's a couple, but I'm not too worried about it. Another trick I want to show you before we start printing is this piece of plastic. So this is a big piece of plastic that I just got over at the art supply store. It's like 18 by 24. And I use this for registration for my t-shirts. So you just lay it down about where you think your image is going to be, where you'll be printing your t-shirts. Take it down on one side. And then you'll be able to use it as a way to show, you'll be able to use this as a guide for printing images on the shirts. Okay. So we've got our screen, it's ready to go. We're gonna put it in the brackets and get ready to print. All right, so get these on here, tighten it down. Okay, now we have these hinges where we can lift up and put it down. This doesn't have a spring or anything, so I usually use tape to hold it up in between. It's not very high tech. Another little trick that I found is to keep this edge up and level with the other side. I've cut these pieces of foam core and I just tape them onto the base. And I just tape these onto the base of this. And that keeps the screen from resting directly on the t-shirt, which is something that you don't really want to happen. It's a little bit too much tape. There we go. All right, so we've got our screen, tape, we've got our registration piece here. Now we can make the first print. Grab your ink. I've got this spoon that I bought at a thrift store years ago. It's got a nice long handle, so that's good for getting the ink out. Okay, we're going to grab some of this ink and put it up here at the top of the screen. Like so. You want to get plenty. You don't want to have so much that it's slopping around, but you also don't want to run out of ink partway through. Okay. And this ink can get everywhere. That's why I like to have some paper towels always available. All right, so this is where the magic happens. Grab your squeegee. I like to lift it up and hold it firmly going across. Okay, so this is loading the screen. Now lay it down and push it down. Now let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's pretty good. I think that'll do. All right, so here is the first pass, the first print that I did on this piece of plastic for our registration purposes. So let's get printing some t-shirts. Okay, so we take our plastic pull it back, put it over here, put it off to the side, and then grab your t-shirt like so and lay it down. Okay, and then you can bring that piece of plastic in, and so now with this you can see exactly where that's gonna go. Let me show you. All right, so there we've got the piece of plastic that we've printed on. I've laid it down and I've lined it up on this shirt where I want it to print. So now I know without making the print where it will print on the t-shirt. So we will move this out of the way and make our print. Voila! One thing you've got to remember to do is to take the plastic off before you print on the t-shirt. All right, I've got my last t-shirt done. I'm gonna grab my screen and take it over to the bathtub and clean it out. I'm just gonna use hot water and my toothbrush, not like my toothbrush, but a toothbrush that I use. Okay, one thing you wanna remember, the speed clean, this is only for completely cleaning out the screen. So if you want to use this screen again, don't use that because that will remove all of the emulsion and your image. But these t-shirts, voila, here, these will be for sale on my website. So take a look at peoplepress.com. Find me on Instagram and Facebook as well, and of course YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you.